Okay, guys, this is definitely not a knock on anybody who enjoys these multi-tiered subscription services and all these digital games and all this stuff that you're paying for. Like, I completely get it. This is not a knock on you guys, so please don't rush to the comment section being angry or upset at what I'm about to say, because at this point, I think I've had my limit when it comes to subscription services. Now, Sony just revealed their new PlayStation Plus. It's a 3-tiered service and it's launching this June. It's going to have PS1, PS2, and PSP titles at the highest premium tier. So if you want those PS1, PS2, and PSP titles, you got to go to that premium tier on there. And there's all sorts of stuff. So if you already enjoy what you have right now for the $60 a year, you can just stick with that, or you can go with a PlayStation Plus Extra, which provides you with more, like 400 different titles, PS4, also PS5, big games, third-party stuff, all of that, plus some other benefits. Then you can go with the premium route, which gives you what I talked about with all the PS1 and the PS2, PSP, and other stuff, and PS3 game streaming, not native downloads, but PS3 game streaming and all that. And it's like $120 and like $100 and all that. So all the information for this service will be linked in the description. It's a cool service for those who already had a PlayStation Now and those who have PlayStation Plus, and putting them into one so you can get a better value or just more clarity with it. So I think it's good for that, people that already enjoy it. But I'll be completely honest with you guys here. I don't even have the time to play all the games that I want to play. All the PS5 games that I want to play, that I want to own physically, because you can actually get the game and play off, or at least the game is on the disc, right? You don't have to download the PS5 version like with Xbox with the smart delivery. So I kind of moved over everything to PS5, and I don't even have the time to play everything that I want to play on there. And let's not even talk about like the updates that are for free. So stuff like the Returnal update, for example, plus all the stuff that already comes out on Xbox, plus all the stuff that already comes out on Nintendo. There's just so many games, and there's so many services, and there's so many of them just trying to say, no, go here, go here, go here, and throwing everything at you, throwing hundreds of games at you across all these services. It gets to the point to where really it's the enthusiasts or people who necessarily don't want to buy or can't afford, I guess, the $60, for a big game that comes out, and you just want to have like a variety of different games to play and just play casually, or like I said, maybe for a kid or something like that. But for me, it's just overwhelming. I don't have time to play all of these games, and all of this stuff just gets to the point where it's just too much. They're just throwing all this stuff at you, half the stuff maybe you played, half the stuff that you haven't, and it ends up just being a nightmare when you combine that with all of the games that actually aren't going to be on there that you maybe want day one, like a Horizon or like a Elden Ring or like a Kirby or like a whatever, all these other games that are coming out, right? Or like a Triangle Strategy, or like something else that comes out, like a Bayonetta or a Xenoblade. So to me, I'm just kind of over it. Like, I see all these different services that are coming out. I don't think that they're bad. I think that Nintendo Switch Online is giving you more value now at this point. People are liking that, right? With the expansion pack. You also look at like Xbox with what they do with Game Pass, and you have a Game Pass Ultimate, and you have a Game Pass Everything, which combines all sorts of stuff. So that's cool too. People like that. You get some of the big, games, pretty much all the big Microsoft games day one, and you get a bunch of other cool games, but they like rotate the games, right? It's like, well, you get them for some time and then they leave, depending on what game it is. If it's a Microsoft first party, I guess it stays there, right? But whatever on that one. Now with this one, you have all this other stuff that's coming in. Oh, you have PS3, but it's game streaming, but then PS1, PS2, oh, but it's only on this tier. And it just gets to the point where like your head just kind of hurts a little bit, because there's just so much going on and just so much different stuff. And if you pay for all these services, I mean, you're paying, hundreds of dollars a year for these services for all these games that you're probably not even going to play. Like you're not going to play, you're not going to even be able to enjoy that entertainment that you're paying for, because you're probably, or at least most of you guys, are going to be paying for games that you want to play day one that aren't going to be on this, especially like with the PlayStation Plus. Like Sony already said that, hey, it's going to hurt our business if we put games day one on there. So like the next God of War, like the next Gran Turismo, or like the next Horizon, or the next Sly Cooper, whatever the case is, right? Those aren't going to be there day one, because obviously that hurts their big money business, because they get a lot of sales at launch and in the first month. And if you put it on the service, obviously you don't get that $60, which is the price for 1 year. You don't get that $60 and now even $70 for these games, right? So there's no way that they're going to put it on there. So for me, I just get to the point where like, do I need all this? Do I need all these services? Do I want all of these? And I'm like, no, I don't think I do. Now, for those who want to know, Nintendo, they give me the Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack. They gave me 1 year of it, and it's cool. Like I guess like I play sometimes on there, but not really, to be honest. I play more of the newer games, but I really just use it so I can play online, which I would pay for like the regular Nintendo Switch Online just so I can play some of those games, you know. And I'm not opposed to paying for like Xbox Live or paying for PS Plus, the base, so I can play online if there was games that I actually wanted to play online with a lot of people. But there's not really much that I want to play online anymore. But back in the day, I did. I used to pay for Xbox Live back when I was playing Halo and Gears and all that, and when I was playing like Uncharted, and when I like to play those type of games, Resident Evil, I would pay for the PS Plus. I would do it. But now at this point, I'm kind of moved on from that and just play a few games online and kind of just play offline more so than anything. Just play single player games or play local multiplayer when I can. So for me, it's just there's no need. But maybe one of these days that need will come back. But for right now, I'm out. You know, when it comes to subscription services, I'm out. I don't need all of them. It's just too much. But I'm happy for those who like it. I'm happy for those who want to, you know, get this stuff. I think that it's good value here. I'm not knocking the service in terms of what they're offering. I know that there's some issues here and there that I've seen videos on that people say, hey, wait a minute, you're locking this behind this tier and all that. And like, I get all of those comments. And for those that think that it's really good, I get those as well. It's not like a yay or nay here when it comes down to it. It's just for me, I'm done with subscription services, you know. But Sony, feel free to send it to me for free if you guys want to do that. I'm good with that, you know. But yeah, man, I think I'm kind of done with subscription services. So those are my thoughts on this PS Plus, the extra premium, the new PlayStation Plus. For those who like it, cool, awesome, have fun. I think there's going to be some cool stuff on there. It should be great. For those who are kind of like me, maybe you feel like me and you want to let me know in the comment section. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic here. This is something that I discussed a bit in an update video yesterday, but the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel has been delayed to spring 2023. Mr. Aonuma, he came out and talked about it in a video, and I wanted to go over that part if you missed it, and also wanted to go over something major, in my opinion, with the game, which I will reference you guys to my video that I did before if you want to see everything, but also what this opens up for Nintendo, because I think this is a very unique opportunity for some other games. So here's what Mr. Aonuma had to say on it. I'm Mr. Aonuma, producer of the Legend of Zelda series. I have an update to share on the launch timing of the sequel to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We previously announced that we will be aiming for a 2022 release for this game. However, we have decided to extend our development time a bit and change the release to spring 2023. For those who have been looking forward to a release this year, we apologize. As previously announced, the adventure in this sequel will take place not just on the ground as in the previous game, but also in the skies above. However, the expanded world goes beyond that, and there will be an even wider variety of features you can enjoy, including new encounters and new gameplay elements. In order to make the game's experience something special, the entire development team is continuing to work diligently on this game, so please wait a little longer. That's all for today's announcement. Thank you. So there you go on that, guys. And I think that with this announcement here, obviously he gave us some new footage. There was a little bit of new footage in there. We finally see Link's face. We see what's happened to the Master Sword. We see what's going on with his arm. And it looks like the Sheikah Slate has been imbued in his arm completely. And he switches Monado arts, almost like there's like little symbols that switch based on what he's on or what he's doing, which is insane. That's obviously really cool. But also on top of that, this game's scope and scale has been expanded, I think, beyond what they thought it was going to be in 2020 or 2021 or whenever they wanted to have this game launched. Probably in 2021 they wanted to have this game launched, but then of course COVID hit and then also other things. They probably wanted to expand it because he says, hey, we have the skies, we have the land, but now it goes even beyond that. So that could mean a dark world, that could mean multiple dungeons, that could mean underground, that could mean water, that could mean all of that. In my video that I talked about this, I said that this could be the ultimate Zelda game because it combines all of the great elements. There are people that say, oh, well, give us just dungeons. We need dungeons, 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 dungeons. But then the open area segments in those previous games were bad compared to Breath of the Wild. And then you have the smart thing when it comes to what's going on here. Breath of the Wild sold the most out of all the different Zelda games. So obviously you don't want to mess with that formula too much. You have the people that say, hey, well, give us the nice open world. I think that in this game, they're going to try to do both. They're going to try to do all of that and kind of put it into one. But they're not going to make it to where it's all based around one thing or another. The first game was all based around the open world. the older games were all based around dungeons. Why have a focus when you can kind of do both and have it dynamically intertwine with each other? If they can get that down, once again, best Zelda game of all time, and also a huge, maybe even a game that surpasses the original when it comes to everything, when it comes to review score, when it comes to sales and everything, if they can pull that off, which I think that they can, because they're taking years on this one. This is going to be 6 years by March of next year, which I think the game is going to launch March 3rd. I think it's going to be right there on the 6th anniversary or whatever you want to call it, 6th, 7th calendar year, whatever you want to say it is. It's going to launch on that, and I think that it's going to be special when it does. It's going to be extremely special when it does. So we'll see that there. But if you want to know more of my thoughts on what I think that this game is going to do for the Zelda franchise and what I think about it with some of the new elements, check out my video that I did yesterday on it if you have not seen that. But I did want to move into another topic here, and that's how the gap that Legend of Zelda has kind of provided, because this year was already packed. If you think about it, look at all the first party games that are coming out this year. We still have to get Advance Wars. We still have Mario Strikers. We still have Fire Emblem. We still have Splatoon 3. We still have Bayonetta 3. We still have Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We still have Pokemon. And there's probably going to be maybe even Metroid Prime Remaster, or even The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and also The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, ported over from the Wii U with some little adjustments here and there, and put on the Nintendo Switch, maybe a double pack for $60, because they're just going to port it over and it's not going to be like a full remaster like, let's say, Skyward Sword was. So I think that all of that is very much possible, with the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess being a lot more possible, or probably happening now at this point. I think those games are done. They're just waiting for that right opportunity, and now at this point is the right opportunity to get that in there. But I think that this opens up also for more fans to play games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, like Bayonetta 3. I think that those two games are going to tremendously benefit from Legend of Zelda being moved away, because now people are going to say, okay, well, I still want to play a big, huge, expansive action or RPG type of game. Well, you've got that. You've got the action element with Bayonetta, and then you've got the RPG element with Xenoblade Chronicles in huge worlds or open-ended areas with great big combat. So I think that those two games, more so than anything, can really benefit, and I'd probably point at Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as being that game that obviously isn't going to sell and fill that void of Zelda, because that game just looks insane. But I think that that's what's going to really take the place for a lot of people and say, okay, well, maybe I'll try it out, because some people like to kind of ration out their time, right? You don't have the time to play all these massive big games that you're going to put hundreds of hours into. But if one of those is moved to next year, that can slot in something else that you can give a chance to, just like people gave a chance to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and that sold over 2 million units. So expect Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Bayonetta 3 all to do a lot better than what they were going to do now with this delay of The Legend of Zelda. So that's going to be pretty cool in my opinion too. But I also want to touch on one more thing here. People have talked about, like, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, could it be launching with new hardware? I mean, obviously that's a possibility. I think that Nintendo maybe could, but don't bank on it. There are people that are saying that it's going to happen 100%. Don't bank on it. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. However, we did get the newest screenshots and some of the footage from Nintendo Switch Sports, and they're using that AMD super resolution upscaling, where it makes the game look incredibly good, past what the Switch can even do. I think that based off of maybe what we're seeing here with Legend of Zelda, the game could be using it too. So maybe it has some of that new tech built in to where yes, that's the regular Switch, and you're going to be just fine with it as well. Reduce the strain on the system, make it look sharp too, make it look sharper than what they had with the original Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the 900p resolution that they had when it comes to docked. So I think that this is going to be a very interesting second half of the year, very interesting mid part and second half of the year with all the big games that are coming out. Then also early next year, how does Nintendo market this? How does Nintendo put this out there? And if there is new hardware with it, what's going on with that? A Switch Pro, whatever the case is. Like I said, I don't want to sit here and say that it's going to happen, but I'm not going to sit here and say completely, like, rule it out when it comes down to it and it launching with it with some type of upgraded Nintendo Switch. I don't know about the next gen Switch. I don't know about all that, but we'll see. Maybe it's that, maybe it's not. I don't know. But guys, let's just relax when it comes to the comments. I see what you guys are saying and what's going on there. A lot of you guys are kind of going in and going ham when it comes to it. Let's just wait and see. Possibility, speculation until actually proven. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.